We have a couple of minutes. I'm going to pull one question from the audience Q&A. And the question is, where do I start? What is one thing that I can do immediately?
So I think you start with investigation. I mean, I think one of the things that where I started, Director Brown, was I engaged with a trusted entity who is bringing in conversations, bringing in this. Cardinality was one of those. Actually, we did a hackathon, and what it allowed us to do was to do a proof of concept that would give us an opportunity to really understand how it's going. We had a ton of people respond. Cardinality was one. They actually won the most creative solutioning for our challenge, which we put in. We wanted to see if you can identify cases where child was removed that should have been screened in or screened out. We also had some other of the common names, whether it be the Accenture and Deloitte and others, that also joined in. We got to see a ton of different perspectives. There's so many approaches, so many perspectives out there. I think for me, that was part of my investigation. So starting to investigate how this can be done, is it possible? Building my situational awareness to know, are there solutions out here that can do the things that Cardinality's done? I didn't know that there were until I actually engaged with it, because I thought I'm going to have to spend another 10 years in state government building this and moving forward. And it was already there. So I think starting the investigation, doing proof of concepts, and building a path and a roadmap based on evidence, taking that evidence-based decision because you've seen this work, you've proved it out, and you've been able to do what I always had to do in my governor's office and my senior executives was bring the proof and the evidence and understand why we're doing this and who is it going to impact. When I was able to do that, they would give me a little more freedom, and over time, you can prove it out and see how it can then be applied without increasing your risk of serving the population and improving their outcomes.
Kevin, fantastic. What I heard in there also was, to me, hackathons and those sorts of projects really start to build the culture of an agency and an organization around innovation and potential adoption of new technology. So when something does come along, there's a little bit more fertile landscape for that to land and seed. Okay, I said one more question, but we do have one more. So I lied to you. Here's the last one. There is, and this is one that I think about a lot, there is so much material out there about AI. Can you give us a reference or two, just some resource that somebody can sort of start to engage with to learn more?
So we have a few, and what we'll do is for everyone who has joined, we'll, I think we have your contact information. We'll email some of those out. There are a few that we share, and I think we shared in some of our previous content, but I will tell you that there were areas where I went to research. I mean, I started with the Gartners. I looked at other individuals, but there was so much information that was, this is my challenge for this and why I say it this way. So much information that was particular to private sector, not much that was applicable to the public sector. And that application, I think for everyone on this call, that is your biggest risk. I mean, that is your biggest risk, because you'll rely on utilizations from private sector that you and all of us on this call who've lived this. I've owned it for 10 years. I know the risk and I know the impact. There's certain things we just cannot do. And there's certain things that we don't want to do. So I think this right now is an opportunity for us, this community, to start building documentation for state, local government, public sector utilization. There's not a true document that I can point you to with 100% confidence is going to enable you to know how to apply it with your policies, your state laws, your federal trading partners requirements, all of the other things that you're subject to, and give you the path that's going to say, this is how I'm going to make my decision. I think this is our opportunity to start building that document. We are the people, we are the community to start building that documentation, but we'll share some things that we think high level give you an idea of how to start.